Today we are making my chicken and Herby white wine gravy, which is the perfect substitute to Thanksgiving turkey. In fact, I prefer it. We've got sage, thyme, and rosemary. We're gonna start with that. Usually this would be like what's on the crust of a turkey or what would be in your Herby gravy, depending on how you roll over Thanksgiving. This is gonna give that gravy, that delicious Thanksgiving Herby vibe that we all want and capture those flavors in one skillet dish. So we've got the minced rosemary. Next, we're gonna do a lot of fresh thyme. And then for the sage, you could mince the sage up, but I like to do like 8 smaller sage leaves in there because it looks really cute and it feels right. And now let's get our chicken going. This is where I put my gloves on. It's a lot of chicken handling. We are gonna make chicken cutlets. You could buy chicken cutlets, but I love making things complicated. Plus I wanna show you how to make them in case you can't find a chicken cutlet. It's very simple. You're gonna take a chicken breast. You're gonna put your hand on top of it. Take a sharp knife and you're gonna cut it right in the center and open the chicken like a book. And then just cut through so there's 2 thinner pieces of chicken. This is a recipe that is meant to serve a crowd. So we're gonna do 6 chicken breasts. So you're really gonna have 12 pieces of chicken cutlets. And with the gravy and everything, a cutlet of it is enough, but you could also have 2 pieces and have a whole piece of chicken. Just depends on what sides you're serving, but I feel like with Thanksgiving, you've got plenty of food. So this really does serve 12 people for Thanksgiving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have the chicken cutlets done. We're gonna place parchment paper or plastic wrap right on top, and we're gonna pound the chicken until it's all about a 1/4 inch thick. This is gonna tenderize the chicken, plus it's gonna keep them all at an even thickness so they all cook evenly. Okay. This parchment paper took a beating. Season both sides with salt, pepper. So I'm gonna just do like a dash of cayenne. And for those of you watching, immediately wondering what this is called a Tweezer Tong. Google it or search it on Amazon. Best tongs ever. I get asked all the time about these tongs, so just wanna preface that. Flip this over, do the same on the back sides of the chicken. We're really squeezing them in here. A larger cutting board might be nice, but you know when you're like at the grocery store and you're trying to bring all your bags in at once? I feel the same way about a cutting board. We're gonna dredge the chicken on both sides with some flour. This is gonna thicken our gravy. It's gonna give a nice golden crust to our chicken. So we're gonna do 1/3 cup of flour. If you need this gluten-free, a gluten-free 1-to-1 swap flour works. I like the Bob's Red Mill version of that. And you're just going to take each chicken cutlet, dredge it so it's evenly coated. Make sure you shake off that excess. You want it just lightly coated so it doesn't get like gummy. When it's too thick, it can do that. So this recipe came to be because my sister moved in her house last year. We were having Thanksgiving and everyone was freaking out about the turkey because she literally moved in like 4 days before Thanksgiving and she was hosting. I don't know why we decided that was a good idea, but that's what we did. And so the turkey became this just stressor. And I thought, you know what? I've got this under control, I'll make something. And so this recipe was that something that I made. And when I shared on stories that we didn't do a turkey, we opted to do this, everyone was like, wait, I want to do that. So this is the year, if you are stressed out about your turkey, to try something different. Make a delicious chicken smothered in a gravy to pretend it's turkey, but it'll be even better. I've almost dusted all my chicken. You're gonna save whatever flour is remaining in this bowl. We're gonna use it later, so don't throw it away. Very important. All right, for this recipe, I'm using my brazier. It's the 3.5 brazier. You could use a Dutch oven here or just like a large, deep skillet because it's gonna be saucy. And there's a lot of chicken. So this works perfectly. All right, we're gonna have to work in batches because again, we have a a lot of chicken. We're serving a crowd. We're gonna brown it. It does not need to be fully cooked through because it's gonna simmer in that gravy for a bit and get super tender. So you really just want a nice golden brown color. So 2 to 3 minutes aside. We're gonna set this aside, make the gravy, put it back in, let it simmer. Now, as you're searing up the chicken, you might need to just add a little bit more olive oil as you go if your skillet's looking dry. All right, that's browned enough. Set those all aside. We're gonna turn down the heat to like medium-lowish. We're gonna add in some butter, lots of garlic. Once that butter is melted, you don't wanna burn that garlic, so you're just gonna sprinkle in that reserved flour and kind of toast that just for like 2 minutes. And this is gonna help thicken up our gravy. We're gonna make kind of like a roux with it. You can see it immediately kind of thickens. And you just wanna toast it. Again, make sure this doesn't burn either. This is gonna be the only thing that you really need to watch closely during this process because the garlic and the flour can burn easily. So just keep stirring constantly for like 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. And it'll turn like a lightly, you're not making a gumbo roux, but you wanna take out that like raw bite of the flour and get it a little bit toasted and just like a light toasty brown. All right, while whisking, we're gonna pour in some white wine. This is gonna give like a nice bright flavor to our thick and creamy, more dense gravy. You can see, look at this, how thick it gets, like immediately. It's already making a gravy. And then we're gonna pour in our broth. I'm gonna do 1.5 cups, something like that. We're gonna start off with 1. This is a cup only. Just whisk that in until it's well incorporated. If your gravy's ever looking too thick, you can thin it out with a little bit more broth. But remember, our chicken is also coated with the flour, so as it simmers, it's gonna thicken up this beautifully. All right, this is simmering pretty good. You want it more of a light simmer. We're gonna stir in all of our herbs. It smells immediately like Thanksgiving in here. We want it more of like a light, bubbling, but not like consistently simmering. We'll get it to the right level, and then we're gonna nestle that chicken back in and just keep it just like that so that it can finish cooking through that chicken. It's gonna get super tender in this delicious gravy, and this is gonna thicken up just a little bit more because that chicken was dredged before. So you can see here, this is kind of the amount of bubbles that you're looking for. And then we're gonna start nestling in. Now, this is a lot of chicken, but you can get it all in there. You just want them like either fully submerged or slightly submerged in the sauce. We're gonna cook this covered, simmering for about 10 minutes. I also put some tips on the blog if you don't want this ready in 10 minutes and you want it kind of at a lower, slower cooking method. I have some tips on, you can put this in the crock pot, or you can also just keep it low and slow on your stovetop. So check out the full blog post for those tips. Show them your stretch. Oh, that was it. That was the stretch. Can you even get enough of this face? So this has been 10 minutes and the chicken's looking nice and tender, and you can see my favorite thing on earth, gravy. Seriously, one of my favorite things on earth. Right there is all looking good. It's a nice thicker consistency. Got the sage, the smells are giving Thanksgiving. The white wine adds some brightness, but I do like finishing it with just like half a lemon, just to really freshen up and give it some brightness even more. There's already a ton of herbs, but they've been cooked. So just to add a little bit of like bright green on top, I sprinkle it with just a touch of parsley, totally unnecessary. It's really just there to look cute. Just a little flaky salt on top. And there you have it, chicken and white wine herby gravy. As you can imagine, think stuffing, mashed potatoes. Those are my two favorites. green beans, you know, all the other things, but this gravy right on top is so good. But this is also easy enough to make on a weeknight, kind of during the fall season. It's great over rice and over pasta as well. It truly is the perfect sub-in for Thanksgiving turkey. Easy, all the flavors captured in the gravy. The chicken is tender, and it's perfect to feed a hungry crowd. You can find this recipe and many more Thanksgiving and fall-inspired recipes on thedefineddish.com. Enjoy, and happy Thanksgiving.